Just as Cain had slew his brother, so did Esau slay Jacob, or tried to, but slayed the descendants of Jacob, which are the biblical Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So let's go to Genesis 4:8. It says, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. He killed him. So let's go to Genesis 27:41. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So it says, further indicative that Esau is the reincarnation of Cain. And the fact that Esau's blessing was the sword. So let's go to Genesis 27:40. Actually, we're gonna start at 38. Genesis 27:38. It says, Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou have the dominion, thou hast, Shalaki says, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, so Esau's blessing was the sword. Okay, so it says, and the fact that Esau's blessing was the sword, and the name Cain in the Hebrew language is Kwayan, meaning weapon or spear. So it says, to this day, Edom is attempting to acquire their birthright back, the Edomites, the so-called white race. Okay? So let's go to Hebrews 12:16. This is Hebrews 12:16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Okay, let's go to Genesis 25:31. Genesis 25:31. It says, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Okay, so Esau despised his birthright, but now he wants it back. It says, and this is their justification of the basis of establishing the new world order. Okay, and Esau, an Edomite, so-called white man of the nation of Edom, George Bush Sr., September 11th, 1991, he had made a speech talking about he wanted to gather diverse nation under the new world order. You could look up that speech on YouTube. It says this conspiracy is spearheaded primarily by the so-called Jews who are Edomites, because the Jews that's living over there in the land of Israel today, as of today, are not the real Jews. Whatever today's date is, I think it's the 24th, October 24th, 2017. So as of today, the Jews living over there in the land of Israel are not the real Jews. It says, so the so-called Jews who are Edomites, known as Khazars, the Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 6, 1925, mentioned that the modern day Jewry are Edomites. Okay, it says the so-called self-styled Jews of today are converts to Judaism who converted uh, circa 740 AD. It says, under Kagan Bulan, ruler of the Khazarian Empire, they practiced a corrupt Babylonian and Canaanite form of worship based primarily upon the book known as the Talmud. Isaiah. So let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 26 and 10. It says, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. And also let's go to Psalms 50 and 16. It says, but unto the wicked the Lord saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, saying thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. Okay? So the so-called Jews living over there in the land of Israel, you know, so-called calling themselves following the law, statutes, commands of the Lord said, what thou hast thou do to take my covenant in thy mouth. Okay? So the Lord isn't pleased with them stealing the true identity of the so-called the Southern Kingdom, which is so-called blacks, West Indians, and Haitians, you know, which they are the true Jews of the Holy Scriptures. So, because let me just say this, because the Jews consist of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and those are the so-called African Americans, so-called West Indians, and so-called Haitians. Okay, from their respective tribes. Okay. It says a significant step in Edom's attempt to reclaim the birthright occurred in 1917, okay, via the Balfour Declaration, which culminated in the creation and establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. Edom stole the appointed Israel's land into their possession, fulfilling the prophecy in the scriptures Ezekiel 36 and 5. It's Ezekiel 36 and 5, and it reads, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for prey. And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Okay? And the Hebrew way of saying Edom is Adawam, which means both of them in the Greek and in the Hebrew means red. Okay? And Zechariah 9. This is Zechariah 9 and 6. It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, and I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abomination from between his teeth. But he that remaineth, even he shall be for our power, and he shall be a governor in Judah and in Ekron as a Jebusite. And also, let me read, what's that? Let me go to, for another precept, just to build off of that. This is 1 Maccabees 1 and 38. It says, okay, this is the Apocrypha. Okay, I'm reading out of the Apocrypha out of the King James Version. Because in the original King James 1611, this book right here is found in. And the word Apocrypha in the Greek means to sent away hidden. Okay. So I'm going to go to 1 Maccabees 1:38. It says, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the cities were made an habitation of strangers, heathens, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Okay? So it says, Edom stole the appointed Israel's land into their possessions, fulfilling the prophecy of Ezekiel 36:5 and Zechariah 9:6. And also attempts to steal the true Jews' nationality. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay. Another sign of the so-called white man being Esau, Edom of the scriptures, the biblical Edomites. It says, another symbol of the Edomites is the eagle. Obadiah, the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4. In the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Actually, let me start at 1, then I'm going to jump down to 4. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus save the Lord power concerning Edom. So this chapter, the book of Obadiah, is concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador sent among the heathen. Rise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. You know? And also, to build off of that, when Esau had went to the moon in 1969, supposedly, one of the things that I believe it was Neil Armstrong, one of the first things he said when he landed in the moon, he said the eagle has landed. And that was during the Apollo 11 mission, 1969. Okay? Said the eagle has landed. So it says another symbol of the Edomites is the eagle, Obadiah 1 and 4. It says which is also the symbol of heraldry found in the crest, coat of arms, monies, etc. of both the ancient Roman Empire and America. Okay, it says of both the ancient Roman Empire and America, because they both upheld the eagle as their symbol. It says 2 Edomites control kingdoms. Edom has displayed their hatred towards Jacob via violence towards the nation of Israel. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and thou hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Joel 3:19. Shalaki. This is Joel 3:19. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they had shed innocent blood in their land. It says, in a robbery. It says, in the form of rape, robbery, and murder. It says, Edom has displayed their hatred towards Jacob via violence towards the nation of Israel in the form of rape, robbery, and murder, hanging, lynching, stealing Israel's land, and stealing Israel's identity. Okay, well, let's go to John 10 and 10. And it reads,